Welcome back. Welcome back to the CP time hour. Welcome back. Y'all know how it is. Y'all know I'll be late, but we here. We here. We getting it going. This is a definitely an interesting one. Going to be an interesting one here. Blueface and Chris Brown, who are okay. Okay. We're gonna make some jokes about some stuff, but uh, beating women is not a laughing matter. However, it is some interesting things going on with Chris Brown released a statement talking about how everybody trashed him. I think Chris Brown just recently lost gigs. Ain't that I mean, well, okay. Chris Brown is still under hot water for the stuff that happened with Rihanna. And so he made a compelling argument on Twitter that y'all are celebrating Krishan Rock and Blueface beating each other ass and y'all calling it entertainment. But I'm dragged through the mud about this. What gives? So that is a good social commentary on society and how we function and how we operate in this context. It's fun and everybody's watching it for entertainment. Or some people get canceled for what they did 20 years ago. And then, normally it goes in the other direction where you were able to get away with more back in the day. But if you even cough on somebody today, you get canceled. But for some reason, Blueface and Krishan Rock, Blueface is able to do all manners of crazy stuff, calling that out. He was legitimately trying to call that out. And Blueface very eloquently or uneloquently responded by saying, "You hit the wrong bitch. my bitch hit back, so I'm good." Oh my goodness, like that's.
But bro,
Hold
even
on, wait.
that.
I don't know. That was a pre-intro ramble. I was supposed to be rolling. That was a
God, I'm
pre-intro
sorry.
ramble. But I gotta roll the intro. Y'all stay tight. Y'all stay tight. Give people some time to get in here. We got to get into this, and we got to get into that. There's a such thing apparently as hitting the wrong bitch. All right, but let's go. Or hitting the right bitch. I don't know if it's hitting the wrong one or hitting the right one. I don't know, but this is wild. This is wild. But let's go.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
We back. All right, so pre-intro ramble. Somebody said that I was breaking up a little bit, and that something do look kind of choppy on my end. Hopefully, hopefully the sound is good. But I saw my screen flash black. Hopefully we don't have those kind of technical issues today. Hopefully we don't, because I'm on the road, So we'll see. We'll see how. We'll see. Let's get into this. I gave a general setup to it in the pre-intro ramble, and it went wrong. I mean, it went long, so I wrote the intro. Now we back, and basically to shorten it up before I handed the hood conservative. Basically, Chris Brown is saying that I tried to ruin me, ruin my life, ruin my career, ruin everything for what happened between me and basically it's a caricature, it's entertainment. Now y'all are entertained by that right now, so he definitely has a good argument, and Blueface clapped back in the most I don't even know what to call it. I don't even know what to call it, but he clapped back in a way that basically more or less made a few arguments. You hit the wrong little arguments like that. He was basically saying, you hit the woman that performed on the Super Bowl. I hit a random ratchet. It's different. So one could say he has an argument, but I'm gonna pass it to Hood Conservative to try to make some sense of all of this. So let's go. Hood Conservative, you got the floor, you got the mic.
All right. Thanks for having me back. Another Saturday show. This is hilarious on a lot of levels, though. I'm even though I'm not upset with Blueface because he didn't like get at Chris Brown. He didn't turn it into like some nigga beef or anything. So kudos to that because I think Blueface be crippin'. So he could have totally went niggerish, but he didn't. He kept it a buck. But that being said, I think this was a perfect example. And hear me out. Hear me out. I know this is controversial, and I come around to bring you controversial stuff. And I think Blueface was supposed to support Chris Brown. Like, nigga, you beat your bitch. I beat my bitch too, bro. Come on, we should do a song together. Bro, that would have been the perfect moment. The industry bad boys.
Man.
You mean to tell and then not for nothing. Not for nothing. If you get like, who's a hot producer right now? You get one of these hot niggas right now to drop the beat, and instant club banger. Blueface and Chris Breezy with Krishan Rock in the back beating bitches up just because. This is gonna be the littest song in the history of lit music. Come on. They were supposed to get together and do a collab, and I think Blueface kind of dropped the ball on that, bro. They could have dropped Bitch Beater 2023 and went on world tour. And this, how much money they could have made from the DV tour? Bro, they would have called it the Domestic Violence World Tour.
Man, all right. I gotta ask this: Is Hood? Well, real quick, is Hood Conservative breaking up on y'all end? Because he's breaking up on my end, but I think it's just me. Y'all, let me know in the chat room. Because I'm having this thing up here, and I'll come right back and see if I start my computer over or whatever. But y'all let me know in the chat room. Is Hood Conservative choppy, or is it just on my end?
Yeah, you were choppy to me, just like listening to you from in the studio. I thought it was me, so maybe it's on your end. I'm not sure.
Okay, so they saying you good. Okay, I'm bad. It's on my end. So I got see, my screen just went black for some reason. Man, I hope this don't be a problem today. But all right, y'all just keep letting me know if I have to. I'll try leaving and coming back, and leave. The stream will still go, and just Hood will be up here by itself for however long it takes for my computer to reboot or try something or unplug the Wi-Fi and get it back going. But
take the cartridge out and blow in it, bro.
The jokes write themselves on what's the name. We're trying to figure out what's gonna be the name of the song. That's The jokes write themselves on that. But even right now, let's just to make sure we ain't just blowing smoke up here, let's pull up the actual tweet by Chris Brown.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if it was a tweet. I don't know where he introduced the statement. I pulled this image from Academic, from DJ Academic, and so this, I think, you can thank him for the graphic probably, but the words, who knows where he released the statement? It probably went on Instagram or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. What you just sent me now? You sent me something.
No,
Some chick
there should have been two
who,
different things in the back chat. One
yeah.
of them
Who
might
is
have
this
got
chick?
erased.
Who is this chick? I'm looking at a chick.
No,
Here.
that's a chick. She's doing a song with Chris Brown. She's promoting a song with him right now, but she low key throwing him under the bus in this interview. I want to talk about that later. But
All right.
the first link I dropped is actually the one you want to pull up.
Yeah, that's the one with Blueface talking this Chris Brown is talking about. And that I don't got that. I actually have not seen that. I only know that secondhand or firsthand from you. So that I don't got, but we'll get Blueface's statement up here really momentarily. There we go. We can get that up here.
Oh, my bad. I think I did put the wrong link. Hold on. I'm gonna get you the right one. Give me one sec.
If we all go do a crime together, we're not all gonna get the same time together. You hear me? You might get the most amount of time.
All right, let's see. Sorry for the dead air. Sorry for the dead air. The Hood Conservative is on mute. So we're about to get this thing going. I apologize for technical issues. For any technical issues, so we're gonna try to work that out or work our way through it. Even if I gotta talk a lot less, we're gonna get through this one. But so yeah, we'll get into this. I'll start rolling this. We'll start rolling this without having Chris Brown's direct comment up.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm gonna drop it in a minute. I had to go back and pull it up.
Just get into there you go. Oh no, he's not. All right. Here it is. Well, this is Blueface more or less responding to Chris Brown and in the whole thing where Chris Brown essentially made a statement that y'all tried to ruin me over this stuff over hitting a woman, and now with Blueface, it's entertainment now. Y'all just having a blast with it. What's the deal? This is Blueface.
What's happening? Look, check it out. I understand the frustration, fool. For me being in the situation, I'm not even gonna trip on you because the message you trying to send is way off. I get it, bitch hit me. It's funny, I hit her back as fuck Blueface, so I totally get it. That'll be the most irritating thing ever. But they did it too. Why aren't you guys telling them anything? Type shit. And it's like, bro, life don't work like that, man. If we all go do a crime together, we're not all gonna get the same time together. You hear me?
All right, I just dropped it down. Hold on, real quick. Had to do an audible. Bear with me. Do got what I was looking for. I do got the exact quote, so we know what's going on and we know what's up. I do got the exact quote. Thank y'all for your patience and bearing with me. All right.
Hold up.
We got him right here.
Hold up.
Got him right here. Got him right.
You know what's wild about this too?
Over a mistake. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think there's a lag. I didn't realize you was reading. Um, this whole thing. If you think about this, there's a lot to be said about this is like the what do you call it? The trinity, of entertainment niggas. You got ASAP Rocky and his black family foolishness. You got Chris Brown and you got Blueface. Now I would have never guessed this 10 years ago, but if you had to pick between the three of them, who would you rather be?
ASAP Rocky, Blueface, and who?
Chris Brown.
And Chris Brown. Yeah, you had went out to me on that. It's wow. I see what you did there, and I see what you're going. I see where you're going. Blueface is in the best position in the sense that he could do what he want to do and nobody says anything. ASAP Rocky is like handcuffed to Rihanna's career. He can't do anything out of bounds because every step he make, he got to think, how is this going to affect my wife's career? How is this going to affect my wife's $1 billion net worth? Chris Brown, and don't say excuse me, he's gonna make the news as the he's beating women again. Blueface, not that you should want to be I don't look at that as an accomplishment to be in a position that I could hit a chick and don't nobody care because I have no desire to hit a chick. But he is in a position.
Mr.
He's doing how he get down. He could do it, and society is okay with it. That's all.
I think you're looking at this wrong, Mr. Riley, sir. Let me just give you my simple metric for how I judge this Negro Trinity. Right? Nobody who get beat up by a woman is a man that you want to be, and
Okay.
so Blueface definitely get beat up by his woman. And I think ASAP gets psychologically beat up by his woman. And we all know for a fact Chris Brown ain't going for none of that shit. We all know 100% verifiable proof Chris Brown is not having none of that shit. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Blueface ain't getting beat up by his woman either. Now she getting some licks in.
Nah, bro, she be wilding on him. You ain't see it all. He be fighting back. That nigga fights back. That's the thing. That's why Blueface could do that, because he's not the aggressor. He's not even seen as the aggressor most of the time. So he's playing a defensive role. And Chris Brown too he was defending himself, right? But Chris Brown it just looks different to me. It looks way different. Chris Brown, he got caught out there one time, overdone, can't do this no more. Blueface is like, don't matter how many times I beat you up, you beat me up, I still love you.
So your argument is that Chris Brown is in a better position. He snapped, he did what he did, and now that's done. Didn't he have some other allegations after that, some other alleged times of hitting a woman or something of the sort?
Oh, allegations come and go. Hoes mad. That's Hollywood, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, look, people in the chat, they know what was going on with the whole Blueface situation, because it was way more public. Blueface's drama is on Instagram for people to see. Like that Chris Brown thing, if that had been just a regular dude and his girl driving down, whatever that highway boulevard, that beach, that whatever that highway they were driving down, but if that was just some regular couple, you might have never heard that. But because it was Chris Brown and Rihanna, it makes the news immediately. And because it's Rihanna, she gets all the benefit of all the doubt. Even years later, even after she comes out and says, yeah, she did hit him, she did all this wild shit, she started to fight, he still got to clean up his image. She never has to clean up her image. That's why I'm looking at the whole ASAP Rocky thing. Like, she be beating ASAP up, bro.
I don't know that that's the case. I don't know that that's the case, but I did see a neutered man. I did see a neutered man in that picture. That looked very neutered. But all right. We're gonna do this like this. I'm gonna try to do a reboot. Game Changer is in the back. I'm gonna let the two of you chop it up.
All right, bring him up. Let's go.
Yeah, so
I know you want to do a hard reset.
Yeah. So basically, RM, when like Hood Conservative, basically you share the screen when you want to play the video. She'll be able to bring it up or bring it down. So between all of y'all could technically run this without me, is RM, because RM can bring stuff up and down.
So, all right, let me grab my laptop so I can share videos if I need to. No, let's roll. I'm ready.
Yeah, because I gotta do a reset, because you keep fading in and out to where I'm halfway hearing what you're saying and then halfway not. And just, but E. Taylor says, Bernard, you're tripping. She busts his head open and all type of stuff. Okay, maybe I don't see all the punches. I did see that one time when they was on the street where she hit him first and then he hit her. I haven't seen him take a L. I've seen them fighting and he didn't. I'll never be in, but I didn't look at it like he was a battered. I didn't look at it like he was a battered boyfriend. I look at it as entered what I forgot what it's called. What is it called? Bi-directional violence. Bi-directional violence between a man and a woman. That's what I looked at it as. Bi-directional violence, and he comes out on top.
You know, we did the whole show about the domestic violence numbers and how that, you know, black women in particular are lethal, not just more violent, but more lethal than other women. Like you gotta combine like 2 or 3 different ethnicities to reach the lethality of black women in domestic violence situations, right? And I say that to say this because this is a weird thing. This is so ironic when you think about it. Blueface, you know, Big Crip, he the only gangster rapper in the history of gangster rap to get beat up by his woman and get jumped by her family. Gangster rap ain't what it used to be.
Dang, see, I got to do this reset. You went out for a moment. I couldn't even hear what you said, but I don't think you even going out to the audience. I think you only going fading out to me. So I'm about to get out of here. See, a lot of people posting her greatest hits, pun intended. A lot of people posting their greatest hits in the comment section. Gee, bust his head open with a Henny bottle. Okay, cool. Okay, maybe I don't know that the guy is 2 crazy people hitting each other, but apparently, if I'm saying she the absolute aggressor and hitting him first, and he just defending himself, then hey, cool. All right, but I'm about to drop down and try to get this figured out. But yeah, I got it.
Game Changer, what's going on? What do you think about this whole thing? Are you even familiar with this at all?
Not very. I mean, like, I get TSR hits on Blueface. I'm not familiar with his music or anything, but I do know that, you know, they have this whole back and forth, and, you know, she hits him and he hits back, and then they wind up on the news, or, you know, the black news or whatever. So I'm familiar with that. And of course, I'm familiar with the Chris Brown Rihanna situation. Now, I think with Chris Brown, he went like a step further to when he did the tattoo. Something about that probably didn't sit well in society's eyes, that, you know, not only did people think it was overkill, you know, because she was...
What do you mean with the tattoo? I don't understand.
Didn't Chris Brown have a tattoo of the ass whooping, like, on his person?
Oh, that would be so gangster, bro. You know, I'm gonna let you make your point, but you reminded me of something else. Good.
Ask the audience, because I could be tripping, but didn't Chris Brown get a tattoo of the aftermath of his ass whooping on his person? Like, he had a Rihanna tattoo with her ass whooped.
That's an ill tat, by the way. That's probably one of the illest tats in the history of the tattoo game. But that kind of reminds me of a slightly different point I wanted to make, and this is more about like the black male image and black music and black media. And there's something really wild that I'll never get over, bro. You realize, like, when I listen to all the years of rap, all the years I spent listening to rap, bro, there is one glaring hole in the rap game, And only a crazy white boy from Detroit has ever dared to even fill that hole. And basically, rappers don't have any diss songs against their mom, right? And I noticed Eminem is the only guy, he's the only rapper to ever flat out have a diss song against his mom. And it's like, all the shit that you got to go through to live the life that you can now rap about. You probably didn't come from great people. Like, you probably had some stories about, your upbringing that you could cry about. But none of y'all niggas ever do a diss track about your mom. Only Eminem. I find that weird. And then to double down on it, and we talk about this DV thing, Eminem is the only rapper I know of for a fact that said, "Hell yeah, I punched my bitch."
Mhm.
Everybody else is kind of like tiptoeing around it. Eminem is the only one that owned it all the way.
Nah, that's interesting. I mean, I think that white kids hold their mothers to a higher standard than black kids and adults. Like, we don't really expect much from our parents, but to keep us alive until we're 18. And if mama does that with the help of the federal government, she's the black queen mama. It's weird. It's like, mama made miracles every Thanksgiving. It's like, well, it's not a miracle when we're paying for it. It's not. We give too much credit, and Eminem was like, nah, you're supposed to do this, this, and this, and now you asking for money. I mean, how dare you try to, what do you say in that one song? How dare you try to take what you didn't contribute to?
No, he said, I remember that shit vividly. He said, "How dare you try to take what you didn't help me to get? You selfish bitch. I hope you fucking burn in hell for this shit. Remember when Ronnie died? You said you wished it was me? Well, guess what? I am dead. Dead to you as can be. I'm sorry, mama." That song touched me so deep. I was like, bro, nobody ever goes in like that. Only this white guy. How come only the white guy's allowed to go in like that? I
They
know y'all
hold their
niggas got
mamas
some
to
emotions.
No, they hold their mamas to higher expectations. I mean, and they look at other white mamas to set the bar. Like, somewhere in their circle there is a dude with a proper white mama that cut up carrots for karate practice and shit like that, and he looking like, hey bitch, how come you're not like that? But in the black community, pretty much there's so many fucked up mamas that the bar is so low. Like, we don't expect them to be decent women. We don't. And of course that thinking, it lingers on to adulthood. But hey, speaking of Chris Brown, I seen on O'Shea's this morning that apparently he's doing something with Chloe Bailey. They have a tour together or something, and one of the 3LW bitches came out of nowhere talking about hey, remember that time he whooped Rihanna's ass? How's black women gonna forgive him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
Yeah, I heard about that. That was like a couple days ago.
yeah, exactly. So he just brought up that she hit the wall. She's a has-been, and quite frankly, yeah. I mean, I remember when 3LW came out, and they were young, but so I didn't think anything of it. But the moment they became legal and I was legally able to find them attractive, I did. But damn, that was so long ago. And yeah, she is definitely not hot now. But it's funny how that is something that people, it's a go-to thing. Like, when they want to try to take you down, they just say, something, I have this skeleton in the closet. I'm going to use this for the rest of your life. I'm going to try to hold this against you for the rest of your life. And Rihanna doesn't get any of this. Like, how come the initiator don't get any of the smoke?
Well, I think it's on that level. I wouldn't even try to measure female violence to male violence. Like, yeah, you hit me and I hit you back, so that that's why I hit you back. But yeah, I acknowledge your violence sucks, right? My violence is paramount compared to yours. So I wouldn't try to compare it on that level. This is what I would go. This is how I look at it. When it comes to these things of like, oh, you men, you're so violent. You beat up this girl. But you know how many children women murder all the time, and you're gonna sit here and look at men like we're the bad people. That's what I take offense to. Like this idea that men get to be held to some standard because every now and then some guy used his hands. You guys put babies in blenders. Like I refuse to be judged. You have no grounds to like moralize and grandstand against me, especially y'all Hollywood chicks. I listen, if we could do a body count on these Hollywood bitches, there is no way you could sit here and talk to me about violence.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, they don't want to get the idea of justice out there, and it's the same with a man. Like if you go out and you feel that you can smack somebody because he has 50 extra pounds of muscle on you, and he smack you back harder, that society is going to feel bad for you. No, it doesn't work that way. You shouldn't have been poking a bear, and then get surprised when a bear pokes back. But society for women, when it comes to women, it's like it's bad when men do it. For example, right? I don't know if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas. I think it was Christmas time. And we was talking about how bad that Wakanda Forever movie sucked, right? Because it sucked real bad. Really, really, really bad. And it came up, I was like, listen, I think Killmonger would have made a better king of Wakanda, right? And then the first thing this Negro said was he hit women. I was like, what's
Bruh,
that to do with?
that's why he should be the king. That's exactly why he should be the king, because you niggas are enslaved by your mama.
But I was thinking, like, what does that have to do with his ability to rule? Is what I was thinking. And they forget that these are the spear wilderness bitches of the world. Like they go around hitting men all the time. These are the bitches that hit Navy SEALs and fucking spear Army Rangers and shit like that. Like they just walk through regular military guys like Cobra Commandos and shit, and you hit them back, and it's like, oh shit, I can't believe he hit this bitch. Like what the fuck was that? That is
No,
how
so funny.
adult black people see it. Like these bald bitches could come around spearing at you and shit like that. But if you hit them, it's like, oh, you hit women. Like, what the fuck was that? It's the thinking. It's the brainwashing. Go for it.
No, and it really is a deep, deep brainwashing, and it's cross cultural because those experiments that you see on like ABC News where a woman is beating a guy up in public and people point and laugh at you. Like people literally point and laugh if you're in public and your woman is manhandling you. If she talking crazy to you, people are like, "Oh my God, look at that! Oh, he's a bitch, isn't he?" But if you were to dare raise a hand of God to this woman who was beating you in public, those same people who are laughing at you and pointing their fingers and all that and pulling their phones out, now they become superheroes. Like they just grow a cape right off the back of their neck, and then all of a sudden they're involved. And it's like, bro, that little phenomena right there, it's something that goes across the board. I think it's a Western thing. I don't know this to be true because they don't run these experiments like in Saudi Arabia. I feel like in Saudi Arabia that wouldn't happen. I feel like in the majority of Africa that wouldn't happen. Actually, I know that wouldn't happen because who was I listening to? Somebody was telling a story about a woman who went to Africa because of like some custody thing or whatever. So her baby daddy was African. He took the kid, so she went to Africa. Now she's over there in this whole out of her element situation. And she gets into an argument with a cab driver, and everyone crowded around her was ready to whip that bitch ass. And she's telling a story of how, like, she realized she was in danger and she had to fold. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's just us. I think it's something about us in the West that we fold in the face of women, and we rather take the L than be seen as the bad guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's because we assume that they're better people. We assume that, like they are above, doing wrong. So therefore, if you're doing it, you must be the one that's wrong. I realized that. See, here's the thing. I realized that when with Bowser and Super Mario Brothers 2 came out. before in Super Mario Brothers 1, the princess was just there. She's just like this poor, innocent victim of Bowser, and he just keep her locked in the thing, and you have to get to level 8 to get to her, or else the little mushroom guy say, sorry Mario, but the princess is in another castle. So it's like, oh, she's the victim of this awful, awful dragon. But then in the next one, next thing you know, she's the one. She's the one out picking up carrots and throwing it at niggas and shit like that. It's like, wait a minute, this is a warrior bitch. She is a captive of war. This was a warrior bitch that got what she deserved for fucking with Bowser's Kingdom.
Let me ask you a question, GC, because you said something about beauty and innocence, and I think I spoke to this on one of my own streams. But let me ask you this: do you think that as men we associate beauty with purity and innocence? Like the more attractive a woman is, the more honest she is in our mind. Like if she's beautiful, she's telling the truth.
I'm probably not telling the truth, but we do see beauty as something worth protecting. We do see that. We do have a natural instinct and desire to protect beauty, and also to be seen by a beautiful woman protecting.
No, I'm gonna make it really. I'm gonna make it really a plain dichotomy. All things being equal, right? A beautiful woman standing next to an ugly woman, the ugly woman is a liar. Just on the rip, like I believe what the beautiful woman has to say. I'm sorry, God told me not to trust you.
I don't know. It could be subconscious for most men, but I think for me, it's conscious. It's conscious. I can consciously say that. Listen, I know that you, ugly woman, is more likely telling the truth than this more beautiful woman. However, I don't mind you getting punished more than a beautiful woman. Like something bad happens to you and I give less of a shit. Honestly.
See, even I think we are in the same place. I think maybe it's a phenomenon that expresses itself differently.
It's not subconscious. If I was a judge, I'd be like, ugly bitch, 12 years, pretty bitch, about 2.5 years, because I want you to be pretty when you come out of prison. Yeah.
That's so wild. That's so wild because that probably literally explains like the male female sentencing gap, where it's just a studied phenomena that if again all things being equal, a man committing the same crime gets the max compared to a woman who'll get a slap on the wrist because the judge thinks she's cute.
Yeah. I think
like women have literally stabbed dudes up and gotten out of jail right away. Like it's crazy how that works.
Pretty women. Take Centoya Brown, for example. Nobody wanted her pretty ass in prison. It was just wrong. Like a prison is where we keep our ugly bitches.
Listen.
Go for it.
Who's the Me Too lady? Tawana Burke. Yeah, If Tawana Burke was in jail for murdering her husband, we would know she was guilty. We would look at her and be like, nah, that bitch did it. She hated that nigga. We would look at her face and know she hated his guts.
Well, I mean, I think that we would think that we don't care. Like, we wouldn't even care to investigate. Like, you just look at the trial and be like, yeah, the judge probably just went hard on her, but look at that bitch. Because society don't miss her. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Society don't miss ugly bitches as much. We just don't. We don't. When they were doing like the Salem witch trials, they wasn't like witch trialing pretty bitches. They too valuable.
I bet you they stopped at the pretty bitches. I bet you once they hit like how like you hit an appropriate number when you have to cull the herd, so to speak, and after you've culled the appropriate number of ugly chicks, all of a sudden they came to their rational senses. Like, you know what? This devil worship stuff probably isn't all that. And then the pretty girls were like, you know what? You guys are right. And they went back to making cookies or whatever they did 200 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. Nobody wants to kill pretty bitches ever. All right. We don't.
Mike, check on me. Yeah, my laptop apparently had to do a massive update. I'm on my cell phone right now, so we'll definitely we'll do it like this for now. But I came back in late, and it sounded like y'all were saying you believe believe all pretty women, not believe all women, believe all pretty women.
No, I'm not
That
saying
one
it's
going.
right. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's how we are on our base level. And then GC kind of added an extra element to it of like consciously, you have to like mitigate for that. But on your base level, beauty equates to truth and honesty as a man. We are attracted to beauty. So when we see a beautiful woman, we are more likely to ascribe goodness to her without even thinking about it. Whereas, like a less attractive woman, we will ascribe less goodness to her because she's less attractive. And it's a base thing. I don't think it's something we even really process rationally.
I think what
Right,
you're
and right.
talking
Well,
about is called the halo effect.
Yeah.
The halo effect as it applies to women.
well, what I want to say to that, because I see in a lot of discussions, for example, let's just say if it's a chick who say a lot of crazy stuff on the internet, but she's pretty, men will try to argue that she's ugly because they know if they accept that this is an attractive woman, then once they fully accept that, then it's somewhere in their mind they gotta listen or take into consideration the crazy stuff that she's saying, even if she's saying horrible stuff about black men. So I think that's why I stopped right there. I mean, I barely even acknowledge the idea. Like I get it, a pretty woman crying in the middle of the street is going to make more people come to her and see what's wrong. Are you okay? Like I get it, but I check that in post because not checking that in post will put you in a bad situation. It will have you doing crazy stuff for this chick because she's pretty that you don't need to be doing. And how you ended up in a lot of the situations we argue for men not to end up in because it's a hot piece of ass, So yes, we can acknowledge that that's how men operate at our base primal level, but it's vitally important to make sure that we check that shit and don't be, getting into a crazy situation because we believe all pretty women.
I'm not saying believe all pretty women, but I do think that we still need a healthy level of she's better. I think we because she is, let's be clear, pretty women are better than not pretty women. They're better at being women. I think that we do need a healthy dose of that, or else you'll have these ugly bitches thinking that they deserve the same rights and privileges as pretty women, like we do now in the black community. We do need to nip that in the bud.
I could see GC as like a future beauty segregationist. Like all the ugly girls have to drink from the dirty water fountain and shit like that.
Well, I mean, they
like the
already
Bull Connor of ugly bitches.
There already exists beauty segregation. It's called my penis. Like, yes. Yeah, there's a beauty segregation on that. I don't care what water fountain you drink from, but I care which penis you drink from. Like, there's certain ones that are not available to ugly chicks. Like Chris Brown.
Society itself and human beings left to their own devices is the natural segregator. That much is true. Even amongst racial lines, I remember Jarrett Taylor. People call him the card carrying white. Well, he calls himself a white advocate, but he makes a compelling point that when you got a racially diverse school, we talking about children, middle school, just leave them to their own devices, and you're going to start seeing the lunch tables is going to be predominantly white, if not wholly 100% white tables. Is going to be predominantly black, if not 100% black tables, and there's going to be Mexicans over there. People going to self-segregate. Go ahead.
No, it's worse. I have to tell you, I have to interject because this is breaking news. And if I was set up to do the story, I would have done it immediately because it was so hot. Kids at a school in Ohio. The black kids at this Ohio school chased down and corralled the white kids on the playground and forced them all to chant Black Lives Matter and beat up the ones who tried to get away. And the school is trying to hush it up, bro. Like, it's going crazy out here right now.
Wow.
It is. I mean, basically, that paradigm is shifting because oppression is now privilege. So
You said oppression is privilege. Explain. Hold on. Oppression is privilege. Whoa. Explain that. You're privileged to be oppressed.
So basically, if you could claim enough oppression in modern society, then society tries to, right the wrong, so they create privileges in its place, which is why you have like Title IX, affirmative action, and things like that.
Yeah, that's the existence of the victim Olympics. If you be a
Exactly.
if you be a good enough victim, then you get more shit and more consideration and more privileges. Yeah, essentially. Yeah, okay, I got what you're saying.
And now we live in a society where the more fucked up you are, the more you could get away with in interpersonal interactions with people. These little bastards go around saying, my pronouns are this. They telling you how to speak to them. That sounds like some old, call me Mr. or Sir, nigger. Like it sounds like that. It's like I call you what I want to call you. You call me what I tell you to call me. That's the paradigm is shifting. It's shifting to, however more weird you are. And by weird, I mean, just like non-binary people.
Mm-hmm.
But on the physical attraction thing, could you bring up my screen, please?
Hopefully RM could do that. I don't even know if I could bring up a screen when I'm on my cell phone. My computer is at 95%. The update is almost done, so I'll be back, able to do things. But hopefully RM in the back can pull that up.
Oh yeah, she did.
Perfect.
She did. So take a look here. This is a perfect example of the dynamic between handsome and not so handsome, of the halo effect in its place, because Jafar is the villain and Aladdin is the hero. Now, oddly enough, they're both thieves. Both of these guys are thieves. It's just cool when Aladdin does it, because Aladdin is cool. I mean, look at him. And look at Jafar. So
Aladdin is an honest thief, though. He doesn't hide his thieving nature. It's a weird kind of dynamic, though, but it is true. Aladdin is an honest thief, and Jafar is like a lying thief. It's a whole different thing.
Okay, I mean, Aladdin is a known thief. Jafar is better at it. And Jafar only attempted to steal one thing, and that was the lamp. Like, that's it. He just wanted the lamp. And Jasmine. But Jasmine, I'm going to put it out there, is the hottest Disney princess there is. Ever. That being said, society do look at the ugly different. And this is the same with what's Mufasa's brother name?
Scar.
Yeah, exactly. Scar. I'm just saying, like, society looks at the ugly man different than the more handsome man. Look on Jafar's face. And Aladdin got the $1 million smile.
Yeah, I agree that the same type of privilege exists for for pretty men. I hate to even use that term, but the same type of privilege does exist. I mean, they've done experiments on that on dating apps where they've had a very handsome guy say something to a woman, very flippant, very short and sexual, and he either got a polite no, an enthusiastic yes, or she just laughed it off. Versus the unattractive guy, they had him say the same thing, in the dating app, and he got a mean, aggressive, cussing you out, no, a block, a flag, a report, or they like, so yeah, we know
we can call that jawline privilege.
Yeah, we can call it that. Bernard, you're echoing bad.
Oh shit, that's probably because I sat back down at my chair. I was like, okay, my computer done updating, so I'm probably about to drop down from my cell phone, and then probably get back in on the computer. So yeah, I'm gonna drop back down, and then we'll go.
Can I get my screen back up, because we didn't finish going through Blueface and his addressing Chris Brown here, because he made some statements that are kind of like interesting. I want to go through them a little bit, because even though I understand Blueface's point, and I don't take any umbrage to anything Blueface says, but I think you kind of got the wrong idea about things, Blue. That's why, like, before you got here, GC, I was kind of making a joke about it, but in all seriousness, Blueface and Chris Brown they shouldn't have any kind of beef. If anything, y'all need to like have each other back on this type of situation. But I'm explaining why in a minute.
Handle your candle, deal with your situation how you deal with it. Only thing I disagree with you posting all these random white people and me and the bitch and trying to like distract from your thing. You feel me? Like, you gotta stand on it, kid. Like, if you beat the bitch up, shit, you beat the bitch up. Like, oh God, like, you scared to like, yeah, like, I get it. You on some R&B, you don't want to be seen as R&B, but oh God, you beat the Yaki, you gotta, hey, I beat my bitch up, man. I ain't finna come on here and be like, well, Chris Brown did it 16 years ago, and you guys let him still like perform at the BET Awards, and I'm gonna sound like a square guy. That's what I'm. My last.
Now on that level, I ain't even mad at him. I think he was 100% solid on that one point. Listen, man, if he beat the bitch up, that ain't got nothing to do with Blueface. Like, for real. Even though I get the point he was trying to make. Like, yeah, if I was Blueface too, I'd be like, yo, bro, why did I get thrown in this? Like, come on, man. Like, I'm the only nigga that ever did this before. You're going to use me as the example. You got to stand on your own.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, society sees that if they can harm you, they will. You know, like, you know, if they see you say ouch when they attack you, you know, they're like, ooh, okay, this hurt them, I'm gonna do it again. But if they see you just say, yeah, I beat the bitch ass, you know, they like, oh shit, I can't get to him. So
I think that's probably like, I think that's a thing we haven't heard from men publicly and forever. And going all the way back to like Ike and Tina, right? If you like casually remember Ike and Tina, you know, Tina Turner, what's love got to do with it? You just think, oh, Ike, he was just abusive. Every hit came because he was whipping her ass. He just beat the hits out of her. Just 25 years of beating the music out of her, right? That's what you would think. But people closer to the situation would tell you that Tina was the shit starter. Tina wanted to fight. Tina was the physical aggressor a lot of times, right?
Yeah,
and,
that's what I heard. Yeah.
And so Ike just gets his reputation bashed. And the thing is, like, I wonder what would happen if men just you know what? Listen, yeah, man, she got out of pocket and I slapped her. Like, does that make me the bad guy? Like, I think men don't own it like that, because most of the time when these things happen, it's like, oh, I gotta go. I'm gonna check myself in. I need therapy. I need healing. I was traumatized as a child, and I think it obfuscates the simple reality of things.
Well, I mean, because we broke like a golden rule. Like, you
Wait,
know,
hold on. Wait, one of y'all got.
that's good.
Yeah, hood service. What's going on? It's like you wrestling with your mic.
Testing.
No, he muted up now, so I think he's getting it together. But go ahead. You was trying to say something.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, Amber Heard. You know, so I do think that society is shifting, but we've also been taught from a young age, you know, you're not supposed to hit girls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, we've also been taught not to let anybody hit you and go unchecked. So, you know, those two things contradict each other once a girl hits you or once a woman hits you. So, yeah, men were confused for a long time, especially during the Ike Turner days. You know, like, what do I do in this situation? I mean, to me, Ike Turner is a lot like Johnny Depp. You know, it's a lot like Johnny Depp. And, you know, the interesting thing about Amber Heard is that a lot of women just naturally assume pretty privilege. Like, they've been getting it all their lives and they just like, you know, I could pretty much say anything and people are going to take my side. I kind of sensed that during the trial too. During the Amber Heard trial. Like, they're used to it. I could pretty much say and do anything and I'm going to get away with it. The wall really hits women like that hard. and when society goes against them, they pretty much are shocked. Like that one bitch. I'll never forget this because it made me not ever want to go to Florida because those niggas is weird as fuck. And that's what's her name? Shit, Casey Anthony.
Yeah.
Casey Anthony. I was like, wait, are y'all listening to this bitch? I was like, y'all actually hearing this? This sounds like ridiculous. And she got off. She got off. She murdered her kid, and she got off. And that's pretty privileged at work. But the fact that she didn't even try to make it like good lies, like these
refresh my memory on that one. What exactly, like, how did she kill it? Did she like drown it, or what was the deal?
I forget how she killed it. I think she hit it, like, I know it was a swimming pool involved somehow. I think that was how she hit the body or something like that. But the point is that she was making up maids and shit that she don't have. Like I left her with her nanny and Consuela, and she don't have no damn maid. Like, the whole thing was just one weird ass thing after another. She accused her father, like the one that bailed her out, of touching her when she was a little girl. And she just kept asking for her boyfriend the whole time. Like, it was weird. And he wasn't her boyfriend. The whole thing, that bitch was weird as hell. But I'm be honest. Before the baby thing, I'd fuck. Right? That no, honestly, I would.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So that being the case, there was this whole presumption, like, she didn't even have to try hard. She didn't even have to lie hard. She didn't even have to be like good at lying. She just was just up there saying shit. And she got away with it because Florida juries is the same as the George Zimmerman jury. Like, it's Florida people. In Florida, y'all make terrible jury people. Y'all make some fucked up jury people.
Yeah. But I don't even know if we got fully into this. And RM, drop that banner down, so I don't know if we're gonna even read. So it's kind of in the way was being read at the bottom. But just getting into the main topic, circling back to the main topic here. Chris Brown basically saying, if y'all still hate me for a mistake I made as a 17-year-old. He was 17 when he hit Rihanna, or when him and Rihanna was fighting in the car, or whatever happened. That was I didn't even realize they was that young. Like, that's okay.
I didn't either.
A mistake I made as a 17-year-old. Please kiss my whole entire ass. I'm fucking 33. I'm so tired of y'all running with this narrative. You weird ass niggas are the same ones that tune in every week to see Blueface and Krishan beat the fuck out of each other in front of the world. But that's okay. It's entertainment. He got a legitimate point on the okay. Let's deep dive into that and break down okay. And he also can finish it because I couldn't see, because that banner, he says it's entertainment. All y'all can suck my penis. All right, let's dive into that. All right, let's dive into that. Why is society looking at Krishan and Blueface and all that they do? Why is society looking at that one as, hey, that's good entertainment? That's good entertainment. Ain't nobody tripping. Like, why does society look at it like that? But in other situations, it's like, the sky is falling. Like, what makes the difference?
Well, I think that there's a couple of things, and Hood touched on it. Is Krishan within league of physical attractiveness of Rihanna?
That's where I wanted to go with it. That goes back to your point. Mm-hmm. And maybe I was rebooting my computer when y'all was touching on this, so I didn't know if y'all really got into it. The ratchetness of Krishan Rock makes society not care about anything that's going on there. Even though, yes, like a lot of people pointed out, she can bust his head with a bottle of Henny and all kind of stuff. If it was a situation where she was just running her mouth and he was on the video and he just cocked back and just dropped her, wow. If that happened, if that happened, people would still tune back in and just be entertained by it, and it wouldn't be a bum rush to get him canceled, removed, or apprehended, or doxxed from all platforms, or none of that stuff. None of that stuff would be going on. And I'm searching for other reasons, but is the main reason is just because Krishan Rock is just some ratchet hood chick who occasionally is missing a tooth. I think she got what they call a flipper, like you take it in and out. You know, it's like sometimes you see her one day she missing a tooth. The other day she got you know. So I don't know the situation there.
No, but like ass whooping aside, like physical beauty, not personality. Physical beauty, is her physical beauty on par with Rihanna's?
No.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, and Hood was right. Like, you know, there's one thing, and then was any of Blueface's ass whoopings close to Rihanna's ass whoopings? Like, did he damage her? Like, because Rihanna was all swole up and shit, like that episode of Martin.
Well,
like,
I think he did knock the tooth out. That's the only thing I can really think of that's like real damage. No bullshit. I think he knocked the tooth out.
Was it a front one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's the front left tooth.
And it's like she smiled with the missing tooth like a badge of honor. Like, you see what Blueface did? Like
she a G with it though. But you know what, bro? Blueface, he giving you some hood game right here. This is some shit that you shouldn't have to deal with at Chris Brown level. But this is real shit. On that level, right? If you got you a girl who, like, say she get wild, she hits you, you hit her back, y'all actually fight, and she don't call the police, she just hail up and wear it like a G. That's what they call, quote, a down ass bitch.
Now, let me ask y'all this. This is gonna be weird. Do you think society at large prefer Crips to Bloods?
Yeah, that is weird.
Oh, definitely.
How? What's
because Bloods have a way worse reputation. Maybe in LA specifically it's different, but I know just from my own personal conversations, Bloods have a worse reputation.
Well, there you go. And I heard that in New York they be slicing people's face and calling it $1.50, like not civilians' faces. I heard in New York they do shit like that.
When I was a teenager, and the whole like blood thing was blowing up in the city, that was like a lot. And it still happens from time to time, but I think it's more, you know, like, it's more in the jail. But like, yeah, when I was a kid, that was a wild thing. It was going on a lot.
Somebody said more Crip celebrities. Like, so maybe that's part of. No, I don't think that's part of it.
Yeah. Speaking to a realm that I know nothing about. I'm too square to know that.
I am too. I'm asking.
Yeah, that Bloods are more respected than Crips. Like that's way out of my realm of knowledge. Like, yeah, that's all a new one on me. I don't even know why that was. I mean, who asked that question? I don't even know who asked that question.
Now GC asked it. It was an interesting question, but that's just something I've personally noticed. Like, just from conversations, they have a worse reputation. Bloods are known for silly violence, and Crips are known for getting money. Like, that's just in New York City. That's kind of the quiet reputation of it all. It'd be a bunch of Bloods, and they all trying to do some crazy shit to you, but Crips are just more, you know, trying to get some money.
That is an interesting concept. If that is the case, Crips are more of like the hustling type of gangbanger, and Bloods are more of they just doing devious licks for no reason. They just want to jack you up just because the wind blowing, and you know they operating on that. I forgot who said it. Game Changer, you'll tell me. But they asked somebody why did they do that, and it was like, because we niggas. It's like, yeah. if that's what Bloods, how Bloods getting down on some because we niggas type shit, then yeah, that's wild. That's something I didn't know.
Okay, so people in the chat room complain. Listen, I'm asking. I did not grow up with Crips or Bloods or nothing like that. So I'm asking. I don't know. I really don't care. I'm just saying, like, in this particular situation, one is a Crip, the other's a Blood, and one is preferred over the other. That's all I'm saying. I'm asking if that has something to do with it. Spitballing. Don't shoot up my house or whatever the fuck you niggas do. Like,
I know it's funny. It's funny
no, that
how
shit
all
is way,
these
it's way more real on the West Coast than it is on the East Coast.
yeah,
That's not the same threat on the East Coast. Like it's literally a joke. On the West Coast, nah, you might have to worry about shit like that.
it's funny how they legit ready to ride on you over this shit, GC. It's like, damn.
yeah, and it's a question. It's a question.
When Twitter fingers turn to trigger fingers, they mad. Like, shit, relax.
Hey, my bad. It's a question. Like, you know, like if a white person say, "Hey, do people prefer light skinned blacks over dark?" He's just asking a question. He's not pretending to know. This is a question. I'm not affiliated with any of them niggas. So it's a question. I just know that one is one, Chris Brown is one, and Blueface is the other. Maybe that had something to do with it. I'm spitballing. Don't leave me out of
Bro,
that.
that's why I said, listen, man, the Bloods and Crips need to both come together over domestic violence. Like, y'all clearly have the same enemy, my nigga. Like, drop the guns, bro. Put your guns down and face the real enemy.
All right, let me damn, I forgot my question. I wanted to throw it to Hood on this one. Do you think that people are more, appalled or taken back by Rihanna getting hit versus Krishan, or Rihanna being in a domestic violence situation with Chris Brown versus Blueface being in a clearly domestic violence situation with Krishan Rock? Which one do you think is more of that Rihanna is just prettier, or is it that one is just hood and ratchet and the other one is not? Which one has more social sympathy currency, I should say? Is it just the ratchetness, or is it the beauty that brings it out?
Ratchetness. Ratchetness definitely
Yeah.
Diminishes a woman's beauty.
Yeah. Because Krishan is not ugly, by the way. Like, if you see Krishan before Blueface, when she was like a young athlete coming out of high school, like, she wasn't ugly at all. She was attractive. And now looking at her, she's uglier because we know her. And that's a different phenomenon.
It's funny. That's the sisterhood makes that argument that you see, as soon as she start fucking Blueface, this is what his penis did to her. Like, it's like they basically they blaming him for just the decline in her physical appearance. And so might be something to that, who knows? But either way, but I did see the older pictures of her where she was bad. She was
Blueface is not the reason she's fat now. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. That has nothing. Right, Blueface says no, she's not like fat, but compared to Krishan Rock at her prime, that bitch fat. And all I'm saying is Blueface did not beat the weight on her. Blueface did not beat the pounds onto her. That's not how domestic violence works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't pound somebody and then they get pounds. I agree.
Yeah. I've heard that argument that when it comes to Black women weight and obesity, it's because from stress, and they're stressed, and that's why they're gaining so much weight, because they're stressed out. And why are they stressed? Because they're dealing with you wicked Black men who are putting them through all that stress, and that's why they're fat. Like, I've heard that. I've heard that argument played out. I don't like when somebody try to collectivize an issue. I hate it. I was arguing against that yesterday with somebody. People try to collectivize a struggle, try to collectivize an argument. But that is the argument. That is the argument that whether it's you talking the lack of femininity, the lack of femininity, them being overweight, them being violent towards men, is all every flaw in them. It's the man's fault. They're just reacting to the man that's next to them. That's what they're doing.
Exactly. That's the only time men have power, when they're ditching out accountability. Wow.
Yeah. That's the only time when you're supposed to be the leader, right?
Exactly.
That's the only time they in the most submissive way possible hand over leadership when it comes to adding up their flaws.
Well, yeah, I mean, like if they drive a car off the cliff, they say, oh well, you're the leader. Like as the car go off the cliff, that's when you become the leader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the Clue Channel in the building with the $5 super chat. He says the Crips were the good guys in the Purge election year. Did not see that. I may have to double back and check that out.
He has a point.
May have to double back and check that out. Son is Hot Rod in the building says, I think it's because Blueface proved his toughness when he knocked out both her father and brother. Oh my goodness, that situation is all terrible.
Listen, man, that's another thing. I want to say that was another thing, bro. That whole thing where her family tried to jump him too. Like,
how demoralizing is that the family show up and try to protect their female sibling loved one from a man who, from their perspective, is beating her ass, and then he beat y'all ass, and then she go back with him and continue getting her ass beat. How oh no,
that's king shit. That's how you do it in a village.
That's a level of just being demoralized.
Your whole family is shamed, bro. That's straight from the village. That's how they do it in the old country. But like, this is what I was gonna say about that whole thing. If you watch that video, like the conversation that was had about that, Blueface and Krishan's pop, right? They were talking frank about the fact that she's hitting him. He never hits her first. And this motherfucker went on to tell all the times he got shot, stabbed, arrested because of women, and he took it like a G. And that's why I asked you earlier. About, all right, ASAP Rocky, Blueface, Chris Brown. Who's really looking better out here? And it got to be CB. Chris Brown is looking way better out here because one, they want you to take the L. If you don't let her beat your ass, they will come and make you let her beat your ass. So the other alternative is you never fight and you can be like ASAP, or hear me out, do what Chris Brown did and whoop that trick. And maybe your song can get a Grammy.
Yeah, we got to talk about the chick who did a song with Chris Rock, because you told me about that one earlier in the show before, and I was having the technical issues.
Yeah, Chris Brown, yeah.
I mean,
it's a new song, yeah.
Yeah, she did a song with Chris Brown. Like, I'm going to use your fame and your name to help get my name out there, through this song, but I'm still going to throw you under the bus as a woman beater. That's some of that modern hypocrisy from the, the people who want to be woke, but they want to payday too as well. So
Chloe Bailey did that?
No. That wasn't Chloe Bailey.
Okay. I mean, I still fuck her, but either way.
No. We already peeped the game on UGC. If you're attracted to a chick, you will put the cape on for her nonsense.
It's not a cape. It's not a cape for want to fuck an attractive woman. Let's be clear.
I know. I'm messing with you, but you was going light on Rihanna yesterday because you want to bite the bottom of her ass. You was going light on Rihanna yesterday.
I want to bite the bottom of her ass, but no, I don't think I was going light. I was just trying to explain, like, she became a millionaire from listening to these people, so she continued to listen to them. That's what I'm saying. Or a billionaire.
Yeah, billionaire. Okay. All right. Real quick before we pull up that. Actually, I don't even have that video no more because I rebooted. All my windows are gone. So let's get start queuing that one up if you got it somewhere. But I do gotta acknowledge someone by the name of Bill Green. Hope I'm not doxing. Who sent me a $150 Cash App last night after the show was over. I'm not even familiar with who you are, but shout yourself out in the chat room. You get wrenched up and all that good stuff. If you're listening right now, thank you. And that was greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciate you coming through, sending a $150 Cash App, putting something on it. Hard and heavy-handed. Do got to drop a bomb for you. Don't even know if you're listening right now, but you did it when I was off the air, so I got to acknowledge you today. You're the top sponsor. You're the show sponsor. Gotta acknowledge you. Got to acknowledge you. Jay, a story to tell in the building. Shout out to you. He says after Blueface knocked out her dad, he tweeted, "I'm your daddy now." Oh, that's what people was posting that in the chat room. I'm your daddy now. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I don't. Look, that happened to me. I would wake up from being knocked out in that situation. I go call myself trying to protect my daughter from a man who hitting on her, and then that man knocked me out, and then he posts on the internet, I'm your daddy now or whatever. I would make my peace with spending the rest of my life behind bars. I would make my peace with that, and yeah, he'd have to die. He'd have to die.
See, that's why the black community is so violent. It is literally that situation a million times a day.
I listen. I would make my peace with it. You go over there and you get your ass whooped trying to protect your daughter. It's like you don't just walk around normal after that. I don't know how you're normal after that situation. I don't. Yeah. It's like you're never the same after that. man. But all right, do we got that ready to go?
Hold on, I just found it. Give me 5 seconds now. Let me drop this one I got here.
All right, yeah. Hit the like button. Shout out to everybody who's supporting the stream. Clue Channel, Sun is Hot Ra, the Story to Tell in the building. Appreciate you. And that brother has a channel. Drop his links in the chat. But all right, you got this ready to go. You working the controls on it. I'm just pulling it up. So yeah. Go ahead and
this one's real quick though. This is just you guys remember her name is Tanash. She was like a singer some time ago. I don't know what she's famous for.
I don't know her.
I thought she was Brittany Renner at first. She kind of looked like her. She's
famous for being light-skinned.
Right, really. Just light skin famous. That's wild. But yeah, listen to this.
He heard the record. He really loved the record, and it was just really that simple. Like he just hopped on the song, and then we had Chris verse, and I was like, "All right, this is cool. All right, okay, cool." It was really the label. It wasn't me. And he heard the record. Label. It was the label. It wasn't me.
Yeah, because she did a song with Chris Brown, and basically they're like, "Oh, why are you working with him?" And she's like, "It wasn't me. They made me do it."
Oh yeah, so that's hers. Yeah, well, she's a nobody, and she is trying to maintain her current audience while getting a new one because Chris Brown is a much bigger name. I mean, yeah, that is shameful. Yeah, it is. Still smash, but that's shameful.
Well, I want to get back to Blueface real quick because we didn't actually get all the way through his statement on the thing. We like pretty much halfway through
my
the
bad.
Blueface clip.
Yeah, let's roll the not so beautiful bean footage. Wait, hold on. Wait, go ahead and bring it up. Yeah, go ahead.
Because Blueface is basically like, "Listen, man, like you hit the wrong bitch. Not my fault. Leave me out of it."
Hold on. The funniest part before we get into it. We gotta talk about Krishan Rock in the background, cheering and co-signing everything he's saying.
Yes, because she back there like, see, he don't beat her ass like you beat my ass. That's the problem. He need to take lessons from you. Like the whole shit is wild when you hear her in the back laughing, and then not for nothing. This is why I can make jokes about the whole thing because, like, bro, I don't even think they care about it all that much. Like, women just be mad, but they don't care.
All right, yeah, go on and roll it.
I'm at the BET Awards, and I'm gonna sound like a square. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My last opinion is, cuz you beat up the wrong bitch. Yeah, you got a bad judge. Like, you feel me? We didn't all get the same judge. Cuz I got a bitch. You feel me? She gonna fight back, so I'm gonna get less time. You hear me? You beat up you beat up the wrong bitch. You beat up the bitch that just performed at the Super Bowl. Nigga, like, sorry, fool. Like, you should have got you a little ghetto bitch or something that you could fight with. That's what I did. I could have plenty of famous bitches. I decided to go to. You know me? Unnatural element.
Yo, that's gangster though. That's real shit. Listen, man, you gotta get you a bitch you can beat up.
He co-signing. She's basically like, mine is an ass worth beating. Oh, she's co-signing.
Yeah,
that shit your ass beat. Oh,
they are an amazing couple, bro. I hope they stay together forever, bro. This is so funny to watch.
It is funny on so many levels. And fellas, really, and I'm talking to you brothers who complain about Pookie Ray Ray getting all that. Do y'all really want that? Do y'all really want shit like that? I do not want shit like that in my house, in my life, and I do not want it in my orbit. I have a homie that's fucking a bitch like that right now. This nigga, he's getting a divorce because he cheated on a bitch with fucking bodies on her. She got bodies on her. She did over 20 years inside, and this nigga fucking her. And then he tried to bring her to my house. Nigga, what? No. I stay the fuck away from troublesome bitches like that, and y'all should too. That's who y'all complain that Pookie Ray Ray get. I do not give a damn. I do not give a damn. That chicks like that is troublesome as fuck.
And look at him though.
Whenever they say something like, oh, you won't do as much time. I don't want to do any time. I don't want to spend a goddamn day in that motherfucker ever. Like,
but dog, we got to make the screen as big as possible, just real quick, because this the face you make when you and your bitch proud of the ass whooping she got, right? Y'all both equally proud of the ass whooping she got.
That's the look of a man who knows he's found the one. He's like this. My bitch hit back, so I'm gonna get less time. You can't be hitting on these docile women. You gotta get a hood bitch who gonna hit back. Then everything is good. It's like that's the argument.
Who in the hell want to spend less time? Stay the fuck away from troublesome bitches. Stay the fuck away.
Well, that's why dudes just stop dating black women. That's a whole other thing. But that's why dudes just stop dating black women, because you're gonna do time.
That is so fucked up. For her to say, you need to stop messing with those sedity and pretties because you fuck me up and you'll get less time. But if you fuck with her up, and they do say that about white women, just like you were saying, Hood. They say, oh, you mess with those white women, you're gonna get more time. Like, I'm not trying to do any time. Once that gavel hits, I do not care about the number that happens afterwards. I'm just thinking, oh shit, the gavel got hit. I'm doing time.
See, but that's the thing. Like, you don't even think about it later, but that's the reality. Like, you want to smash, right? All right, well, you might have to go to jail later. It's up to you, my friend. It's up to you. But if you want to smash, you might have to go to jail later.
How fucked up is that? And they are okay with this. Both the men and the women in these situations, man, Pookie deserved Keisha. That is fucked up beyond reproach.
Yeah.
That both parties is okay with going to jail. Cause it's like they have no life outside of fucking.
Now, you guys understand me more. And shout out to the ASN movement. When I was up here, Bernard, and I was telling you the ain't shit niggas, they belong. Like you are better together. I present you fucking Blueface and Krishan. They know they belong together.
Like, perform at the BET Awards, and I'm gonna sound like a square guy. That's what I'm gonna say. My last opinion is, cuz you beat up the wrong bitch. Yeah. You got a bad judge. Like, you feel me? We didn't all get the same judge. Cuz yeah, I got a bitch. You feel me? She gonna fight back, so I'm gonna get less time. You hear me? You beat up you beat up the wrong bitch. You beat up the bitch that just performed at the Super Bowl. Nigga, like, yeah, like, sorry, fool. Like, you should have got you a little ghetto bitch or something that you could fight with. That's what I did. I could have had plenty of famous bitches. I decided to go to, feel me, my natural element.
What did he say? What did he mumble up?
His natural element, bro. He decided to go to his natural element.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's funny on so many levels.
Yeah, bro. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. I'm saying these things based on years of observation. I'm in the bush taking notes, and these motherfuckers like, bro, this is wild.
So you ELs talking about Pookie, that is his natural element. Get out that nigga's element. Like, do I smash Keishas from time to time? Hell yeah. Do I remain in the element for prolonged periods of time? Fuck no. Fuck no. That is that nigga's natural element. Like he just said. I'm messing other people's natural element. which is why I never moved out of California. Remember, I was in Texas and my dad had to put WD-40 in the keyhole to open this shit. That is not my natural element. Shoveling snow is not my natural fucking element. Or whatever the fuck you snowy niggas do. That is not my natural element. I eating dirt in Mississippi is not my natural element. Stay in your element. Like, I agree with that 100%. Keisha is this nigga's natural element. I visit other people's elements. I don't stay in that shit.
Damn, this is a brutal thing, but I wonder, and we've been talking about it for a minute now, but even Blueface kind of like he's saying it plainly, bro. Get you a bitch that you can beat up, and so the question now becomes, and we were talking about this earlier, I said, but is it really true that Krishan is just less valuable than Rihanna, and that's really what the outrage is?
What do you mean? Okay, you said is it that
She is less valuable? Yes.
By whatever metric you want to ascribe to the word valuable, Rihanna is more and Krishan is less.
Yeah.
Okay, but who's outraged? You said you having that little muffled mic thing again. I don't know. I think it's background work. But what do you mean? You say that what the outrage is about? Whose outrage are you referring to? Because the only person outraged right now is Chris Brown. Oh, you're talking about just everybody's outrage against Chris Brown. Everybody's rage against Chris Brown is because he did that to a valuable woman. So it's like society and women who would argue with men. Like, for example, when Kevin Samuels started a whole national, damn near global discussion about how to assess or appraise a woman's value, everybody got mad at him. But when something like this happens, when you juxtapose the two different things, Krishan being in a violent relationship and Rihanna being in a violent relationship, you could see that everybody innately prescribes more value to Rihanna because, Chris Brown is not supposed to be doing that to her. But Blueface and Krishan is like, crazy people hit each other. It's no big deal. Tomato, let it go. Let bygones be bygones.
Well, not only is society valuing Rihanna more than Krishan is valuing Rihanna more than Krishan.
Right.
So there is an understanding. And I say it all the time, Keisha pussy is worth the least. There is a hierarchy of women of which she's at the bottom. And she understands that. She understands that she enjoys being at the bottom of valuable women to men.
But she's at the top. She's at the top of the bottom though, and she loves that spot.
Yeah. Okay. Big
she's
fish,
at
small
the top
pond.
of the.
Yeah. I
Big
like how you did that. That's perfect.
There is a hierarchy, and Keisha is at the bottom. Just to be clear on that. So yes, an ass whooping to them is worth a lot less. It is.
She is like Super Saiyan, just God level Keisha. She's that like a ratchet chick can't win more than Krishan at this point. It's like she's made it to the top. She's maxed out.
What's her name? What's that chick name with Nipsey Hussle? Laura London.
Is she really a Krishan Rock though?
Well, nah, she don't fight him and shit like that, but she do have
it's literally like we've lost count, not just how many times Krishan has gotten to fights with Blueface, but how many times he just got in a fight with random chicks. Like we can go online right now. Hell, it happened a month ago. She was rolling around on the ground with some chick.
Her own people though, that was like her crew, like her stylist or something like that. She was rolling around on the ground with. Like it's actually wild when you think about that.
And she's allegedly pregnant while doing it. So I'm like, it's like
that is his element. This nigga is proud of it. He's proud. He said, "This is my element." He's seen somebody, rolling on the ground, pregnant, fighting, and said, "Oh, damn, that's my element." What do you do with somebody? Hey, you stay the fuck out. Like, yeah, that is
crazy. Like hold on, wait, Hood, you got that muffled thing again. But at a primal level, I understand why women get turned on watching men fight, or get turned on by a man who can fight. At a primal level, I understand that. But there's apparently men who get turned on by a chick that can fight as well. It's like that part I don't understand.
I do.
Explain that.
Well, I don't necessarily. Okay, I don't get turned on by hood chicks because everything is less hot when a hood chick does it. However, anime, those cartoons where the bitches be like sword fighting and shit. Sailor Moon, Sailor Mars, Sailor Jupiter.
That's
Let me see.
different. It's different being.
Then there's mud wrestling and stuff like that.
No,
I think that
it's
everything is
different.
just worse when hood chicks do it.
It's different from seeing, Lucy Liu in Kill Bill, looking sexy while wielding a sword. That's one thing. Versus even if you see some drunk white girls fighting outside of a bar, like it's like that's what I'm talking about. Seeing just some ignorance, like some dudes could be on some loud ignorant shit and just fighting and like, I mean, I don't have this story because I don't be just out getting into fights, but I've talked to a number of dudes who like a dude I know, a dude I worked with, he got into a fight with a dude or got into it. And I forgot, I don't know what happened. He said he was out there just wilding. He was told me he punched out the window of somebody's car and it did, like he was out there just showing out. Got to a fight with a dude and ended up, beating him up or whatever. And all kind of shit was going on. After all that happened, and he wouldn't even prior to that, wouldn't even messing with this chick. But one of the cousins of one of the dudes he was fighting, like, hit him up. Like came through, on some, well, I just, everything just got out of control and I don't know what y'all was fighting about. And then she came to his house like she trying to reconcile the situation and then gave him some pussy. Basically, yeah. She got turned on by the fact that he was out there fighting her family. It's like, so it's something weird and primal in women like that. It actually, it's some.
It is. I mean, Bernard, and we talked about this privately, and because I told you that if I was ever to be or go to one of your meetups and they're in Detroit, and I sock you in the face randomly, it's because an attractive woman is watching. Like. I mean, no, that's my game. Like, so like I was like, don't get mad, be prepared. We could be sitting down chopping it up, and I see a pretty bitch, and I'm just like, damn. Just understand why I did that shit. Like that's
okay. And if I'm on code and understand why you did it, I'm gonna let you get away with it in hopes that it gets you some action later on that night.
No. You're supposed to fight a little bit and then let him win. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, don't make it obvious. Like let him actually get the win because that's the homie, bro code. But now, what GC said though,
we gonna do Shaw Brother from the 5 Heartbeats before we try some shit like that. But anyway, all right, go ahead.
I know exactly what you're talking about. But this is the thing too, and this is weird, and I'm thinking it's a black thing a little bit, and it's a noticeable black thing. And the reason why I say that, bro, it's something I always hated. And I like Star Trek, but it's something that always bothered me about Star Trek, right? One, first of all, the Klingons are a black race, and they're black and violent, and then their mating is black violence, and it's such a weird thing to watch because every time you see it, it looks exactly like black love that you see in the real world, and it's like the writers of Star Trek, when they made the Klingons black. And then they tried to put black culture, like they tried to put this weird black male-female aggression level into the whole Klingon mating dynamic. And I'm just like, wow, are people noticing that about us? And then what made me even notice it more is there was this one episode, and this is like the old Star Trek, with Picard, right? It was this one episode where they met this other race of people, like they got their own planet, and it's like an African kind of planet.
I seen like that.
Everybody black, and they was on some Wakanda shit. Like they was literally fighting to the death over some pussy, and I'm just like, wow, are people noticing things about us?
Pussy fighting though.
No. Well, yeah. You're right. The women had to fight over the man. That was true. That was true.
They were fighting over the penis, which is
but
more
the men. But the twist at the end was that the woman was the dominant party in the whole deal. She wound up marrying both the niggas. She walked away with 2 bad bitches.
Yeah, in that society, or the men couldn't own land. Only the women could own the land. The men like managed it or something like that. It was like a weird situation. They and this planet, this all black planet, I guess. Yeah, they set up some matriarchal structure. It was really weird. Like
And that's how they see us. Yeah.
and even me and Game Changer talked about this a lot off the air. One of my favorite shows, the Orville, where the like the Cleons of that of that show were because the Seth MacFarlane, creator of Family Guy, he loves Star Trek Next Generation. He basically just made a spoof show where all the characters basically represent one of the characters of Star Trek Next Generation. So the Mocklins is basically that's the black race. They're like an alien race, but all the actors under the makeup is black. You could tell they black. They use, they're basically black with some weird, asphyxiations on their, and weird patterns in their head and their forehead.
They use black slang every now and then and shit.
No, they don't use black slang, but they are the most toxically masculine race on the whole damn show. Like they brutal. Like they basically, because it's in the future. So when a girl is, it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. They're all gay too. That's the weird thing.
Yeah.
It's like they hate women and they're all gay. And it's like they want, because they could, so with all the science and technology, it's like that. You can snap your finger and do a sex change at birth. When a female is born, they like at birth it just changes its sex to a male. And I think because in their race, the females are born very few and far between, and 2 men could have a baby. So they like, oh, we don't even need these bitches for having babies. So they just like little weaker vessels. They practically kill the women. It's like but
holy shit, that is so bizarre, bro. I can't even imagine who would think. You know why I'm laughing? Because people think that's the future of the manosphere. Like people say that about the manosphere. Essentially, that's what people want.
But the thing is, the alien race that they created are the technically black race. It's like, oh,
but I do want to say that that they are smarter and stronger than any other. They do kick ass.
That and that part of it is true. And everybody hate them, but they need them because they got like the strongest military, the strongest weapons, the strongest
best
everything. Yeah. And it's like, it's the best scientists and the machine race that want to kill all biological life forms. Everybody else can't adequately protect themselves against that race without these toxically masculine gay black motherfuckers. It's weird. It's like the show is out wild. Like
holy shit. You know what that just reminded me of? This is some really deep dark from YouTube, but I swear to God, it's still there because I talk about it every once in a blue. They turned the gay niggas from outer space into an actual part of the TV show. No. Like, I shit you not. If you type that in right now on the search, like, I don't even know how I found this years and years ago. Yeah. But I swear to God, it's a real thing called the gay niggas from outer space with hard R, by the way. And it is exactly what it sounds like. And they really just made them a whole alien race on that show. That is wild.
I've known about that for damn near 2 decades now, because I think it's that shit like over 20 years old. I've known about that for a while, never watched it, but that is a real movie. It's on Internet Movie Database.
Yeah, I can't make it through it. I cannot get past the first few minutes, bro.
I can't get past the title.
I had to watch a synopsis video, one of those videos where somebody was describing it so I can get the whole story. But bro, I can't watch that shit. But like the first few minutes, it was like, I can't believe y'all really did this. And then I'll just cut it off.
I'm not watching any of that shit. But I will say this. Klingons are Japanese. People are like, who are the Klingons modeled after? They're modeled after the Japanese. They worship their sword. Honor is everything. This is Japanese samurai culture. Now, Japanese don't have a bunch of aggressive bitches, but they just threw that in, and maybe they threw in some black shit, but I
They
think
did that because they made him black. I swear to God, that was the whole thing. Once they made him black, all right, strong women.
Well, yeah, they had a black actor play a Klingon, and then they just changed the way the race looked. But I think
No, the original Klingons weren't black per se in the old Star Trek show. The Star Trek show, they weren't like an overtly black race. That was a change made by the time like the 90s with the Next Generation came along. When that came
Worf.
along,
No,
they were
no, Worf. I forgot his name.
yeah. He was a nigga. Like that was an obvious choice. They wanted a nigga to be on the show, and they made a whole race to back him up.
Yeah, so they changed it into black appearance, but I mean, nothing. But the culture itself, it really, to me, is really Japanese. They worship the bat like the Japanese samurai worship their sword. Like, to me, it's Japanese, and they're
I never thought about it
self-sacrificing.
like that. I agree with you though. I haven't really heard that before though.
They're self-sacrificing like samurai and like kamikaze. They Japanese. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and in contrast, on the Orville, they didn't explore this yet because it was only one episode where they showed this race, but it's a planet where basically the men are oppressed, and the women, they basically saying that men aren't allowed to have power because when they get power, they corrupt and they do, then they basically name all the horrible things that any feminist would say men would do with power, and then that's their argument as to why they oppress men to the point of they basically the men are just used for reproduction and physical labor. And I hope that they really explore and go to that planet because they had to do some business with that planet too. So the Orville is a good show.
I need you to think about this for a second, Bernard.
Okay.
That is a running theme, and pretty much anytime like sci-fi even addresses that, like a planet where the women are in charge, you have almost always two things. Either the men are very like feminized. They're not necessarily overtly gay, but they look gay. They like metrosexual, because there was a whole episode like that on Star Trek, where there was a planet where the men were pretty much like the lower class. Like the women were dominant, and the men were like these little like beautiful. It was a planet full of niggas who was bad bitches. Like I keep saying that, like you niggas want to be bad bitches so bad, and we were just reminded me like Star Trek had a whole episode where the women were in charge, and the reason why I'm saying this, the point I'm making is sci-fi kind of tells you what the future wants, right? So for men, as women get more and more in charge, they will like seek more and more of you niggas to be bad bitches, and until a point where it's going to be a planet full of dominant women and a bunch of niggas who's bad bitches.
Okay, now you got an interesting concept with the dude who want to be the bad bitch, because like it's a lot of conversations like that happen, on online, in this black YouTube, black male sector, and some dudes who be talking about some, man, I ain't gotta have money to get girls, I just get it off just my raw sex appeal and this or that or blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, so if you talking like you don't gotta have money or you don't got money, and then we live in a world where chicks doing good, not as good as they claim they doing, but enough of them are doing good enough and could make their own money, pay their own bills. And it's like there's a fine line between I'm just that dude and I'm just getting pussy versus a dude basically trying to get it off his prettiness and brag on that, and she make her own money. Like you got a compelling argument that his ability to be with her while she making that money and everything is really solely contingent upon whether or not he gonna be that bad bitch for her. And it's like
the reason why I can never be a bad bitch. The reason why I can never be a bad bitch in that way is simply put, it requires that you fuck women who are less pretty than you are handsome. Like, because she would have to recognize you as a bad bitch, which means that you are more beautiful than her, or you are more handsome than she is pretty. And that's the trade-off. I think most men
speak on that often. I heard you speak on that a lot, GC.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is a trade-off that person, many guys like myself aren't willing to make. I would prefer to be the owner of a more attractive woman than I am handsome, of a woman who's prettier than I am handsome, than being owned by a less pretty woman and not having to work. Like, I mean, you know, let's just give a guy a number of 5, right? This guy's a 5. Now, would you rather work and be with a 7, or would you rather be kept by a 3? Is the question.
And
I
so,
think it's deeper than just like what women would you rather have, what situation would you rather have. It gets to something way more fundamental, and this is why dudes defend it the way they do. Like the dudes who, on the bad bitch side, they will defend their territory for this reason, because traditionally, like when it comes to the whole mating thing, men are judged, and even outside of mating, men are judged on their productivity, right? That is like the metric of your masculinity, because you can't just be out there killing a nigga every day to prove your manhood. You got to be just generally productive. And so
yeah,
when you kind of remove that equation from the mating situation, and you're no longer judged on your productivity, it kind of almost by default, you're not being judged on your masculinity. And so the guys who can't be judged on the traditional masculinity, that's when they can shine and be like, oh, well, this is how you win. You have to be the bad bitch now. And that's how the dynamic forms, I guess.
I
Mm-hmm.
agree. I agree. Trell
right.
said something interesting. He says, I want to try a purple bitch. Yes. So
Oh yeah, no, it's some green alien chicks I've seen in the Orville and Star
Yeah.
Trek and Star Wars that I definitely would
Yeah.
would have a. I walk away with a green. Okay, never. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
No, like Twelix. Twelix can get it. Avatar bitches can get it. Yeah, even a couple of Vulcans.
I think that would be like throwing a pencil down a hallway, messing with a
Right,
avatar.
Like if they're regular size. If they're regular size, you know, that's what I mean.
So somebody got to shrink or
gonna
grow,
use your
but you gonna
arm.
get that blue pussy though.
You're gonna use your whole. You have to just use your arm on the avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, or if I turned into the avatar guy, I would smash an avatar bitch.
Oh yeah. If you're an avatar driver, as they call it, then yeah, all the avatar chicks could get it. But in your human body, you ain't doing nothing with them avatar.
You totally leaving something off the table, right?
That's some deep blue pussy. That's all I know.
It's not even just that. Because I just realized they do that whole thing where the little tails start to touch and they combine and shit. Like, you realize what that means? Like, if this was a grown-up movie, that would have been a whole different kind of magic. Like, you ain't never touched a bitch soul before, bro.
No, listen. Do y'all know that it's a deleted scene in the original Avatar movie before Jake and Natiri, I think her name is, before they had sex, right when they was like getting into position, they both grabbed their tails and connect their little things to each other, and then right when they connected, they both went like it's like, because like when that happened, basically,
I know
you feel whatever the other person feels. You embody everything that they feel physically.
He came right on her spirit, bro. That's what happened. He came on her spirit, and they had to cut it out the movie.
Yes. Like they get mind, body, soul, spirit, everything connect when they have sex. So I know they have some of the best sex. So I know it's like when they connect them tails, it is on.
Fucking trees be glowing, animals be lighting up around them and shit.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like,
then they be doing it in the water now. We found out they do it in the water now. Oh my god, It's crazy on that planet.
Yeah, if you in your human body, you ain't doing nothing to one of them avatar chicks. She just yawn, wait for you to get done. It's like you ain't got nothing coming. Oh man.
So the thing on the I don't think there's nothing about the German tribes really, to me, mirrors Klingons, because the German tribes didn't like have a religious connection to their weaponry, and many Germans were taken as slaves, gladiators, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, which Klingons and Japanese don't. They don't play that shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, shout out to Cole Still. Do appreciate you coming through, dropping $5 on it. Do appreciate you. He says, I believe that the Klingons, that's kind of weird to say sometimes. The Klingons are modeled after the German tribes during the time of the Roman Empire, and the Romulus are modeled after the Romans. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody.
I agree with that.
Support the streams.
I agree with what he said later about the Romulus and the Romans.
Since we far upfield was talking about some sci-fi stuff, and I do want to try to connect it because I stumbled into this when I was monologuing yesterday, I believe it was. Yeah, yesterday. They said in a futuristic Star Trek society or in an Orville society where there's matter generators or matter synthesizers and all of that stuff where everybody can just have whatever they want, is like that would breed automatic socialism, basically. I argued that no matter how much of some capitalists we are, socialism is the future once technology advances to the point to where everything could be produced like that and everybody could have it like that. It's like money becomes irrelevant, especially if we get so far in the future to where we got matter synthesizers. I still can't say that word, but
do you realize there's a huge flaw right in that matter synthesizer problem?
Please let me know, because I argue, because the question that they asked, hold on, real quick. The question that they asked, does hypergamy in women disappear when you get into that type of socialism? But anyway, go ahead. But go ahead and let me know the flaw in the whole matter generator jiggy.
Low key, the matter generator is kind of like a metaphor for godlike powers.
Mm-hmm.
And so even in your scenario, your socialism, your ultimate, you reach this ultimate point where you need socialism. You have to essentially reach godlike abilities. That's kind of the flaw in your scenario there.
Yeah,
I think Star Trek is a very liberal utopian fantasy organization. If you think about it, Star Trek alone, like the actual organization Starfleet and the whole world that they inhabit, they are fucking space hippies who don't believe in money, and they don't even think that these giant spaceships with all these weapons and rockets are military force. They're fucking space hippies, bro. So yeah, I love the show because it's childhood memory shit. But as an adult, I look at it and I'm like, no, you guys are evil space hippies. I know what you're up to.
But the thing about the matter synthesizers.
Okay, go ahead, GC.
It doesn't really apply, and they touched on this in the Orville. This society wasn't ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get rid of niggas if you are going to have society has to evolve past niggadom before you can have matter synthesizers, because basically people work on motivation, and right now motivation is material motivation or sexual motivation, hey, if you work this job, you get this car, you get these things, and you get this pussy. So we work on motivation. But once you take that away, the material motivation, and just stuff start literally coming out of thin air, then there's really no need to do stuff. Like, it's like, oh, I could join Starfleet, or I could just matter synthesize me a cupcake.
Well, that's the thing, though. There's going to be some people who are going to be driven based off their personal ambition, and that's how societal rank and status, because whatever thing that you're inspired to do, how good are you at doing that thing? That's how status is.
That's the hippie dream, bro. That is a hippie fantasy.
But hold on, real quick though. The Star Trek don't cover this, and I wish they would. I wish they would just cover the bum who says, "Wait a minute, we can have whatever we want. We could just push the buttons and then produce whatever we want. Okay, let me produce a 100-inch TV screen. Let me push the button and produce an amazing couch and the most advanced video game I could possibly find. And I'm just gonna sit here and play video games and synthesize some wings, pizza, and nachos and pop or soda, as everybody else calls it. I'm from Michigan, we call it pop. But and synthesize, whatever I want, and just sit there and just be a bum and sustain myself through the synthesizer. It's like. So that person exists. It's just no fun to cover them. It's better to cover the industrious ambitious people who want to boldly go where no man has gone before. But the fact of the matter is, there's going to be a time when we're going to make technological advancement so fast, so quick, so easy to where it's going to be so cheap to where people are just going to be able to just like the bum ass nigga that don't ever want to do nothing in his life will finally reach full full homeostasis, if that's the right word. The full steady state staticness where I can live like this now and nobody can shame me.
What if it just creates a race of bum ass niggas?
It works in theory, right? So let's just it's not enough of those people for one, but let's just say 1% of the people are on some I want to be Captain Kirk shit or Captain Picard shit, right?
Okay.
Let's just say you have that in society. How many kids did Captain Kirk have?
He got alien babies all across the galaxy.
Oh, that's right. You can mix babies on Star Trek. Yeah. But I mean,
bastards don't count. Sorry.
How many non-bastard kids do we have?
I don't know. Probably none.
Now, what winds up happening is those people breed out. Like they don't have any kids, and there's nobody, the next generation becomes, like less Picard and less Picard and less Picard. Geordi LaForge didn't have any, and none of the crew had any kids, right? Let's be clear. None of the crew had any kids, but you want to know who did have kids? That nigga with the holodeck in the garage and the synthesizer. He's just like, oh yeah, all he do is holodeck fucking and make kids and shit.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm saying it will cause this, the population will then have another generation. It will get fewer and fewer starship captains and shit.
They dealt with that on the Orville because the chick did ask the question, why would anybody do anything? And basically they sidestepped it or dealt with it by saying that, well, society frowns upon that person. Like that person is like, is basically, looked at as just the lower dregs of society. It's
society frowns on niggas. That don't stop them from nigging.
I agree. There will be a percentage of people who won't care if they're frowned on. They're just going to push and just make whatever they want appear before them and just enjoy it. And so there will be a percentage that do that. I would argue that the majority. I would argue that
upset the nigga balance, just like welfare did. Welfare upset the nigga balance. Let's be clear. And this would be the new welfare, except that it won't have any of the roaches and cons and stuff that come with it. So this will upset the nigga dynamic in the world population to a ridiculous fault, to where Earth would turn into a nigga land.
Here's a thought for you, Bernard, and this is very philosophical, but I think Black America needs to have this philosophical discussion. Mm-hmm. Without struggle, life is meaningless. And when you remove all of the normal struggles of life becomes less and less meaningful. And I think you can see elements of that and the community, right? That's kind of what we suffer from, a malaise. We don't feel the need to compete per se. I was just having a deep conversation about this with Dr. Thunder the other day about competition versus like racism. And my whole point was that even if let's say everybody's racist and they hate you, so what? You still got to go do stuff. You still have to get out there. And I think the main thing of it all is when you create like this utopian fantasy. That's why I called, Star Trek. It's actually a very utopian liberal fantasy. And it's gay as hell too. If you think about the metaphors that they try to introduce with certain plot lines, it's a very futuristic liberal gay fantasy. And the reality is that you can almost never truly imagine a situation where people just have everything and they're happy and things are fine. Like it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. People do not behave the same when they have everything. Like Frederick Douglass said it best: without struggle, there's no progress.
I understand.
And the Black community is an example of that. They took away some of the struggle after civil rights, after that struggle was taken away, and when welfare came in, we ceased to progress. But what they're showing is, a society that's not struggling yet progressing. That doesn't happen.
I understand what y'all are saying, but I'm just saying from just philosophically speaking, if that train is coming to where technology is going to be so good to where everything will be mass produced so fast and so cheap.
Why do you? Why?
I'm not wishing for that. Hold on, wait,
No,
real
it's
quick.
not a wish. It's not a wish. It's
No,
an
you haven't-
assumption. And all I'm asking is, why do you assume utopia when tyranny is more likely and more historically accurate?
No, I don't know if I assume utopia. I'm just I never really said utopia. I think that's the way that the Orville kind of depicts it. Like I'm not even sure if they don't cover the utopia. They cover the industrious starship people who want to boldly go where no man has gone before. They don't really cover what's really going down on the ground of the planets where people have everything they want and rather not they're living in utopia. And they did a good job of laying out that once it gets to that point, the basically people in power are going to try to use it and control it and basically just wield it over everybody else and make basically they're going to be able to push the people in power are going to be able to push a button and and mass produce everything, but they're going to make everybody else on the ground work their ass off to earn it, to pay for it. It basically is going to be like that, sort of like how it is now. Just the people at the top will have to do less hard work to build their way to the top, because once you get there and if you own the matter generator thingy majiggy, you win. So I get it from that standpoint that it could lead to more wars, which they did show an example of that, where somebody got their hands on that kind of technology too soon, and fast forward 5 years, their planet was a post-apocalyptic a war zone. The whole damn planet, they basically just blew up the fucking planet fighting over that shit. People making bombs to blow up the person who making bigger bombs, and somebody making bombs to blow them up to protect themselves against this, against that, and everybody had just mutually assured destruction, and he wanted to take out the person who had the most assured destruction, and then y'all just destroyed and destructed each other. So yes, it will turn into that if once that technology is made, if it's not properly managed. Yes, it could cause more war in the end of a civilization before it could cause a utopia. Only thing that I'm just arguing, in theory, when that type of technology comes fast, quick, and easy, it will, and I don't think it'll happen in our lifetime. It won't happen in our lifetime, but it will come a point where that type of technology will become so fast, so quick, and so easy to where when I look at it and analyze it, I say some type of socialism becomes inevitable once the production of everything through technology is fast, quick, easy, and in a hurry. But right now, where we're at now, capitalism is the best way to go. But I think people are going to rise, not rise above capitalism, but I think technology will outgrow it. I don't know if that's the right word.
Well, okay. Here's the thing, Bernard. Niggardom is going to catch up. Comfort and ease breeds niggardom. It did with the Greeks. It did with the Romans. Comfort and ease breeds niggardom, which breeds low fertility and all type of nigger-related problems. Now, and granted, to his credit, Roddenberry, to his credit, he did see this as a problem. That's why he wrote the Federation as the Federation. It's not just humans; it's also other species that are kicking in because they know that eventually, the human race will turn into a nigger society, and they're going to need the other species of people, just for the same reason why America has immigration.
But Nick, for those that don't know, when he's saying nigga, he's talking about behavior. He's just not saying behavior. He's not just saying black people. He's saying behaviors. I have to decode for new people in here listening that that's what he means. Okay, go ahead.
My mistake for not decoding. I'm talking about a certain type of behavior. Exactly. Yeah. So once they know that this behavior is going to take over humanity, through prosperity. They understand that, which is why they have federations of other species that are less susceptible to niggardom, like Vulcans, so that's why it's a federation, and that's why we have immigration. We know that America is suffering from a high concentration of niggardom, and it can't sustain on its own. Like, when you have a large population of niggardom, then you have people that don't want to do the jobs that need to be done, agricultural work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you bring in other groups of people to do that, whose society has not been infested in such a way. It's the same principle there.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. But I'm scanning comments, seeing what other people think about this. We probably about to wrap this bad boy up pretty soon. But this is a good conversation. I like dorking out sometimes on sci-fi concepts and relating it to the type of things that we be talking about here. It says the only time socialists and
socialism. She corrected it.
The only time socialism has ever worked, even in the slightest way, is in very, very, very small countries with nearly entire homogeneous nations. It doesn't work on a large scale. Yeah, well, you got to understand that I extrapolated this so far in the future to the point to where we have matter synthesizers, and to where we're producing whatever humans want is pretty much at the fingertip. We're the medical science and technology is just keeping everybody alive. Everybody is just living a healthy. It's a concept, and it's hard to really conceptualize it. Sometimes it's hard to really conceptualize it because in our mind we think we right now we know that socialism doesn't work right now. So you got to really think of just how is society going to play out, and how our government's going to manage it. Hold on, real quick.
Just admit it's religion. It'll make more sense that way.
Yeah,
I
agree. I mean, you have to have an outside driver to drive people, other than money.
Wait, hold on, wait. I missed what Hood Conservative said. It was some muffling.
I was saying, just admit that it's a religion, and it will make more sense to you.
What's a religion?
Socialism. It's a faith-based system.
It's a faith-based system. I think right now it's definitely a faith-based system, because people want to live in a world where we all are equal, and that's not possible. The only thing that I was saying, after really observing and watching the Orville, that they essentially created a world where the technology is so advanced that the technology is so advanced where everybody got what they want. There's no such thing as money. So everybody did all have the same thing. So everybody was equal. So what I'm saying is, if technology ever gets that good, which it won't happen in our lifetime, probably 1,000 years in the future, then it's hard for me to logically pinpoint how, when a society gets there, how socialism won't be inevitable unless somebody literally goes far out of their way to withhold things from people, to make sure that they have to get up and be productive, because an idle mind is the devil's playground. And so somebody would have to bend over backwards to not have a socialist society when technology gets that advanced. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, let me address this before Jackie Jack's thing, if I may, because UFO, he keeps bringing this up about attractive people in the future. Listen, once you have the technology to beam matter to other places, it is reasonable to assume that you beam the fat out of you.
Yeah, there will be no ugly people. There will be no fat people. There will be no poor people. There will be no. That's why I'm saying, in those societies, if technology ever gets that advanced in real life, socialism is inevitable. But that's not me saying we should try to prematurely create a socialist society. I'm not saying that, because that wouldn't work. That won't work at all. I'm just saying it's inevitable. Some people are trying to prematurely do that. When they start talking about the UBI and all of that stuff, that's a universal basic income where everybody gets a certain amount, whatever. And once if they start that, even if they started at $1,000, they want to figure out a way to bump it to 2. They'll figure out a way to bump it to 3, and then they've essentially de facto prematurely created that society. So, and I don't think you could prematurely do it and have it work. But there does come a place, at least I think, there does come a place where the technology gets so good, it won't be in our lifetime, where it will end up being inevitable. But shout out to Jackie Jack in the building. She said, I disagree. GC, black people have struggles, and it's defined by dysfunctional. I don't know how that necessarily disagrees with what Game Changer said.
Well, I mean, here I'll respond to that with, we advance more when there's struggle than we do when there's not struggle. Black Wall Street was built during struggle. You know, haven't shit been built when things was cool. So what Frederick Douglass is saying is that, you know, people progress under struggle, and including greater societies, including, you know, white American society. You know, like, what have we done since? When you really stop and think about it, and I had a physicist tell me this, we haven't really advanced in technology since World War II. Every major technology we have now was invented around that time. It's just been refined. You know, there isn't like a new, you know, like the cell phone is the walkie-talkie. You know, the computer was, you know, out then. It was just bigger, clunkier, and less sophisticated. We've just been refining existing technology for, you know, the past 70 years or so. And that's because we haven't really struggled much since then. So society progressed through, you know, through struggle. You know, and the same can go for other participants in World War II. You know, Kawasaki, you know, even things like Mercedes and stuff, they built war machines. You know, look at how Japan has advanced as a result of it. So yeah, these struggles do advance society. No, okay, Jackie, we create our own struggles. That's different. Creating your own struggle is kind of like an artificial thing that you do when, you know, you understand that you need struggle to progress. But no, that's not helping the situation. I'm talking about external struggle, like, is what I'm referring to.
All right. We probably about to wrap this bad boy on up. You know, good convo. It was a sort of a philosophical brain teaser at the end. I'm curious how society looks when the technology just gets ridiculous. That's little brain teaser. Somebody said this would be like the movie WALL-E. Like that's legit funny. That's legit funny. But,
I was going to mention that. I actually wanted to bring that up because that is the more likely, even in the scenario where, you know, people are benevolent, nobody stops all the glorious free shit from happening. We'll all just be a bunch of fat asses watching TV all day long. Like, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think Star Trek does, and well, particularly, I watched the Orville more than Star Trek. They never show what it's like on the ground when it in those planets. They only show like they don't show the common folks. They don't show the common. They explained it. They said that, you know, when everybody has everything, then it just turns yeah, like you said, it's a liberal fantasy. It's like, you know, what do you do? What are you good at? If you're good at playing guitar, well, I mean, if you like to play the guitar, well, how good are you at playing that guitar? And you're respected based off that. You know, everybody knows, hey, Jerry plays the guitar, and whenever music needs to be played, everybody calls on Jerry, and that's how Jerry gets his respect and status in society. Not going to work and building something and creating something and making a lot of money and owning a lot of shit that he paid for and that, you know, got him, you know, and through that's, you know, that attracted him a woman that respects him, and now he got a family and he got money and he got a business, and no. He's a good guitar player. You know, they basically explained it like that. So, but
that's still capitalism. It's just that status is the capital, and
that's what I argued yesterday. And that's what they that's ultimately what it'll be. But interesting stuff. We may cover it. May hop back on this one again. May hop back on that one again. All right. We about to get out of here. Shout out to everybody.
Real quick, can I do a plug real quick? Because I'm about to go live like immediately after this show. I've been flooding the chat with links. That's something I want to talk about. It's a wild clip, but basically, this woman finally comes out and says what most men are don't want to say because situations and circumstances. But a woman has said that being a stepdaddy makes you weak. Raising another man's kid makes you weak. The woman has finally said it. She's going to explain it, and we're going to talk about it. The link's in the chat. I'm out of here. Thanks, Bernard. I'll see you
All right,
next
peace,
Saturday.
peace. Yeah, don't click on the X when you get out of here. You click on that link. Click on that link and leave right now. Well, get the hell out of here. Leave right now. Go over to Hood Conservative and check him out. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace. We gone.
Peace.